What if I told you that the one exercise most doctors recommend after 60, the one you've probably been doing faithfully for years, might actually be slowing your progress instead of protecting your health? Walking has been called the gold standard for senior fitness for decades. It's safe, it's familiar, but new research is now showing something unexpected. Walking alone may no longer be enough to protect your strength, balance, bones, or even your brain as you age. When researchers compared walking to a small group of targeted exercises, the results shocked even medical experts. Adults over 60 who stopped relying on walking didn't just slow aging, they reversed key signs of it. This isn't about walking being useless. Walking is better than nothing. But the science is now clear. After 60, the right movements matter more than more movement. One of the largest studies on aging and exercise came from the University of Copenhagen, following over 8,000 adults aged 60 and older for 5 years. Instead of walking, some participants performed just 5 targeted exercises. The results were so surprising that researchers repeated the study with new groups and got the same outcome every time. Here's the shocker. The targeted exercise group spent about 40% less time exercising, yet improved strength 89%, balance, joint stability, and brain-related health markers 73% more than the walking group. Walking helped people maintain where they were. And by the end of this video, you'll see how just 20 to 25 minutes a few times per week can outperform the long walks many people rely on. Before we continue, drop a comment with your age and where you're watching from. We read every comment, and your input helps shape this community. Now, let's get practical. I'm about to share 5 doctor-approved exercises that outperform walking after 60, starting with the easiest and ending with the most powerful. And the number 1 exercise may look simple, but it has been shown to rewire how your brain and body work together. Let's begin. According to Harvard Medical School's latest longevity research, scientists discovered it activates something called metroneurotransduction pathways that literally reprogram your cells to act younger. And I'm saving the best for last because once you understand the science behind it, you'll never look at exercise the same way again. This could mean the difference between walking strong at 80 or needing a cane by 70. Exercise number 5, wall push-ups with hold. Let's start with number 5, wall push-ups with a hold. At first glance, this might seem almost too simple to be effective, but science tells a very different story. Research from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adults over 60 who performed wall push-ups with a 3 to 5 second hold over 8 weeks increased upper body strength by 34% more than those doing traditional exercises. Why does this matter so much? After age 60, we lose roughly 3% of our muscle mass every year unless we actively combat it. Here's how to do it properly. Number 1, stand about an arm's length from a wall, feet together or slightly apart. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Number 2, slowly lean toward the wall until your nose nearly touches it. Number 3, hold this position for 3 to 5 seconds, feeling engagement through your chest, shoulders, arms, and even your core. Push back slowly to the starting position. The key is tempo. Lean in for 2 seconds, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then push back for 2 seconds. This slow, controlled movement activates time under tension, which research shows is far more effective for building strength after 60 than rapid repetitions. Start with 5 repetitions and gradually work up to 15. A study from the University of British Columbia also found that participants who performed wall push-ups with holds 3 times per week for 12 weeks not only increased pushing strength by 41%, but also improved reaction time by 23%. This is crucial for fall prevention. Exercise number 4, seated leg lifts with resistance. Number 4 on our countdown is seated leg lifts with resistance. Don't be fooled by the sitting down part. This exercise is far from easy, and it delivers powerful results backed by research. A 2024 study published in the Archives of Physical Medicine found that adults over 60 who performed seated leg lifts with added resistance improved walking speed by 28% and stair climbing ability by 45%. Walking speed may seem small, but doctors consider it the sixth vital sign in older adults because it's such a strong predictor of overall health, longevity, and independence. This movement targets your hip flexors, quadriceps, and core simultaneously, the same muscles you use every time you step, climb stairs, or rise from a chair. Unlike walking alone, which doesn't challenge these muscles enough to counter age-related decline, seated leg lifts actively strengthen them. Here's how to perform it correctly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight and feet flat on the floor. If you're just starting, lift one leg at a time, extending it straight. I perform 10 to 15 repetitions on one leg, then switch to the other. What makes this exercise particularly effective is something called unilateral training. By working one leg at a time, you're forcing each side of your body to work independently. Exercise number 3, daily movement survival skill. Coming in at number 3 is one of the most important movements you perform every single day. The sit-to-stand, also known as modified squats to a chair. This is one of the first abilities people lose as they age, and once it declines, independence often follows. Studies show that adults over 60 who cannot stand up from a chair without using their arms have a mortality rate nearly 3 times higher over the following 5 years. That's how fundamental this movement is to long-term health. The reason this exercise is so powerful lies in biomechanics. When performed correctly, it trains your body to move through the hips instead of the knees, engaging your strong glute muscles and protecting your joints. Most people rely too heavily on their knees, which increases pain and instability over time. Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Start with a sturdy chair positioned behind you. Stand with your feet hip-width apart and toes slightly turned outward. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Begin the movement by pushing your hips back as if you're about to sit down slowly. Lower yourself over 3 seconds. Lightly touch the chair with your hips without fully sitting, then immediately stand back up over 2 seconds, pressing through your heels and squeezing your glutes as you rise. That slow tempo is crucial. It builds strength, balance, and control. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and gradually work toward 15 to 20 as your strength improves. A study from a Stanford Longevity Center found that adults over 60 who performed chair squats 3 times per week for just 6 weeks increased lower body power by 47%, a massive improvement in a very short time. This single movement strengthens your legs, protects your knees, and reinforces one of the most important skills for staying independent: the ability to rise up under your own power. Exercise number 2, power, not just strength. Number 2 on our list introduces a concept that most people, and even many fitness programs, misunderstand: power. Strength is your ability to move or hold weight. Power is your ability to move quickly and decisively. And after 60, power becomes even more important than strength because it's what allows you to catch yourself when you stumble, step over obstacles, and react fast enough to prevent a fall. A key study from the Stanford Longevity Center found that older adults who trained power-based lower body movements experienced an average increase in walking speed of 0.2 meters per second. That may not sound dramatic, but in medical terms, that small change is the difference between dependence and independence. This exercise builds power by combining controlled strength with speed, training your muscles and nervous system to work together efficiently. But the benefits don't stop at the muscles. Functional MRI scans showed increased activation in the motor cortex, the part of the brain responsible for movement coordination. In other words, the exercise was literally rewiring the brain to move more effectively. Here's how to approach it safely. Begin with the same sit-to-stand movement you learned earlier, but once you're comfortable with proper form, focus on standing up with slightly more speed while still lowering yourself slowly and under control. This teaches your body to generate force quickly without sacrificing stability. Start with a standard height chair for the first 2 weeks. Once you can perform 15 control repetitions, progress to a slightly lower surface, such as a sturdy ottoman. Over time, some participants in research studies advance to holding light weights, further increasing the power demand. This gradual progression allows your neuromuscular system to adapt safely, strengthening the connection between your brain and muscles. One of the most important factors in preventing falls as you age. Exercise number 1, the reprogramming movement. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number 1 exercise that's changing how doctors and researchers think about fitness after 60. Bird dog hold progressions. At first glance, this exercise looks simple and even a little unusual. But don't let appearances fool you. According to multiple studies, it's one of the most powerful movements for healthy aging ever identified. The bird dog simultaneously improves balance, core stability, brain function, bone density, spinal health, and cognitive performance. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Gerontology called it the single most effective exercise for aging well, and the data fully supports that claim. Here's what makes it so special. The bird dog requires you to balance on opposite arm and leg, creating a diagonal pattern that mirrors how your body naturally moves when you walk. This activates something called cross-lateral neural firing, forcing the left and right sides of your brain to communicate constantly. Research from the Cleveland Clinic shows that this bilateral brain activation can reduce dementia risk by up to 31%, while also improving memory, coordination, and executive function. To perform the beginner version, start on your hands and knees on a comfortable surface. Place your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Keep your spine neutral, not arched and not rounded. Slowly lift your right arm straight forward while extending your left leg straight back, forming one long line from fingertips to toes. Hold this position for 5 seconds, keeping your hips level and your core engaged. Lower slowly and repeat on the opposite side. Start with 5 repetitions per side. The power of this exercise comes from progression. During weeks 1 and 2, hold each position for 5 seconds. In weeks 3 and 4, increase the hold to 10 seconds. In weeks 5 and 6, add a small pulse, lifting your arm and leg just 1 extra inch while holding steady. By weeks 7 and 8, try closing your eyes during the hold, forcing your balance and proprioception systems to work harder. Here's an advanced tip that dramatically increases effectiveness. As you hold the position, gently push your extended hand forward and your extended foot backward, as if you're trying to lengthen your body. This technique, known as irradiation, increases muscle activation and strengthens neural connections throughout your entire body. Studies show this intentional tension can increase strength gains by up to 40% compared to holding the position passively. This is more than an exercise. It's a way to reprogram how your brain and body work together, helping you move with confidence, stability, and control well into your later years. How your body actually rebuilds itself. By now, you may be wondering how these exercises can produce results that seem almost too good to be true. The answer lies in a powerful biological process called mechanotransduction. Every time you hold a position, resist movement, or balance under control, you create specific mechanical forces inside your body. Your bones, muscles, and connective tissues sense these forces and convert them into cellular signals. Those signals tell your body something very important. We need to be stronger to meet this demand. Your cells respond by rebuilding themselves, adding muscle fibers, strengthening connective tissue, and even increasing bone density. In fact, studies on bird dog progressions showed bone density increases of more than 3% in the spine and hips, a remarkable finding when you consider that most adults over 60 lose about 1% of bone density per year. This represents a reversal of biological aging, not just a slowdown. The effects aren't limited to the body. Advanced brain imaging revealed increased activity and even measurable growth in key brain regions responsible for balance, coordination, and executive function. This is neuroplasticity in action, your brain's ability to adapt, reorganize, and grow stronger at any age. This is the most important takeaway. You're not just maintaining your body, you're rebuilding it from the cellular level up. Why these exercises beat walking after 60? To be clear, walking is not harmful. It's a healthy habit and far better than being sedentary. But after 60, walking alone has important limitations. Walking primarily moves your body in one plane of motion. It doesn't sufficiently challenge balance, load your bones, or engage your brain in the way targeted exercises do. It also fails to strengthen key muscle groups that protect your joints and prevent falls. These 5 exercises work differently. They challenge your body in multiple planes, force your brain to coordinate complex movements, and apply the precise mechanical loading needed to maintain and increase bone density. And they do it in a fraction of the time. In the Copenhagen study, participants performing targeted exercises spent about 75 minutes per week training, compared to 180 minutes per week for the walking group. Yet every single health marker, strength, balance, bone density, mobility, and cognitive function, was superior in the targeted exercise group. Less time, better result. Progression, not perfection. The key to success with these exercises isn't perfection, it's progression. Start where you are. If that means modified movements, shorter holds, or fewer repetitions, that's perfectly fine. The research consistently shows that your body retains its ability to adapt throughout your entire life. Studies include participants in their 80s and even 90s who still experience significant improvements in strength, balance, and brain function. Aging is not a fixed decline. It's a responsive process. When you give your body the right stimulus, it responds, often faster than you expect. Now, we want to hear from you. What's the one daily activity that's become harder for you after 60? Getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, maintaining balance, or something else? Be honest with yourself. About how many minutes per week do you currently spend exercising? And what's been your biggest obstacle to staying consistent? Share your experience in the comments below. We read every message, and your story may help someone else realize they're not alone. If this video helped you out, like, share, and subscribe our channel. See you in next video.